Welcome into Outkick the Show, boys and girls. I am your fearless host, Clay Travis. I hope all of you are having a fantastic Thursday right off the jump here. We are doing a prime time lock it in show. If you have not yet gotten a chance to watch our FS1 sports gambling show, me, Cousin Sal, Rachel Bonetta, Todd Furman, we had the most watched, highest rated show that we've done. We're now in our fourth week on Tuesday. Most watched, blew it through. Twice as many people watched the show on Tuesday as have watched any show since when we launched. So we've grown the audience substantially. We are doing a primetime game. Right after Rockies Brewers on FS1, we'll be doing a primetime version of the show if you haven't gotten a chance to watch it. It's a good opportunity to go watch it. Also, we'll be doing another primetime show on Friday night leading into the weekend. We'll be on right after Rockies Brewers again. So anyway, it's going to be a lot of fun. Major League Baseball postseason is going to be on FS1 during our usual time. So it's going to be a very cool opportunity to advertise our show for a huge audience of people that might not have seen it otherwise. We've got a lot to get to. I want to tell you off the jump, go to Sportsbook Review right now and make sure you get the best possible number on tonight's game, whether you're betting on the Patriots or the Colts or any of the college football games that I'm going to give you all of my gambling picks. No, you guys know that I hate to brag. Not the kind of guy to draw attention to myself. We are on a complete roll right now with gambling. Through 5 weeks, we have won over 60% of our picks. We are 38-25 on the season. People say, what, do you keep track of all your picks? Yes. I post them every Wednesday afternoon, or you get them on Monday if you're an Outkick VIP, and I post them, and we keep track of them the whole time, right? So it's easy to track them down, and it's easy to keep track of them, and for all the haters out there, Fade the Picks guy is nowhere to be found. I can't even see him in my mentions now when I take the time to dive through the mentions. It's going to be awesome. It is going to be really, really cool. Somebody said, you don't count the parlays you lose. Motherfucker. A parlay is for fun, okay? You put down a tiny amount on a parlay, and if you win a parlay, you feel really great. You make a lot of money. The parlay is a collection. I'm going to have to block this dude. I'm going to have to block this motherfucker. The parlay is a collection of gambling picks that I'm otherwise giving you, okay? Complaining because a parlay doesn't hit is such a total loser move. I can't believe that a dude even tried to comment on here. I just had to kill him. A parlay, for people who don't understand what a parlay is a collection of games, all right, that you have to win all of them. You put forward a tiny amount, and you win a substantial amount back. So far, when I give out a parlay, which I'm about to give you out, of 3 or 4 game parlay, it is a huge payoff. And so the idea that you would count a parlay defeat as part of the overall picks, first of all, I only count the picks that are on those pages. And secondly, do you not want me to give you parlay ideas? Like, to me, parlaying a bunch of bets together is one of the most fun things about gambling. I mean, come on. This is not complicated. Most of the parlays are made up of individual game tickets. And I'm like, okay, but if I'm going to play a parlay, I'm going to take these 3 or 4 games. Man, come on. I can't believe that so many of you lose it. You're not counting the parlays. Get out of here. It's ridiculous. All right, so we've got a lot to get to. I'm going to give you all my gambling picks. Several parlays that I've hit this year. I'm going to give you all my details here. I'm going to give you an update on Kavanaugh, all of that. All right? Here's the update on Kavanaugh, because I know a lot of you are going to want the update on Kavanaugh. But right before I give you the update on Kavanaugh, let me tell you this. If you own a home anywhere in this country right now and you have credit card debt, you are being a fool, because you can wipe out all of your credit card debt, which oftentimes has around 20% interest. And right now, you have an opportunity to wipe all of that credit card debt out and get the best possible deal with a great new mortgage that wipes out all your credit card debt at my guy, Ryan Kelly, thehomeloanexpert.com. Thehomeloanexpert.com. go to my guy, Ryan Kelly. The latest on Kavanaugh. The FBI report is out. We talked about this a lot last week. I said several things that I say that remain relevant. There was nothing that was going to happen in the FBI report that was going to change anything. Having those people testify, both Ford and Kavanaugh, under oath in front of the Judiciary Committee was a lot more of a big deal than conducting an FBI investigation. The Republicans were correct that the best way to gauge whether or not somebody was being truthful was directly ask them questions under oath in testimony in the Senate Judiciary Committee, not get an FBI report. But Senator Jeff Flake is such a flake that I think his flakiness actually worked in favor of the Republicans, because prior to that, Democrats could accuse the Republicans of just trying to shove through the Kavanaugh nomination and hiding behind the fact that they did not do an FBI investigation. Even though the FBI investigation is effectively, honestly, a write-up of what they already testified. This is, I think, going to give the Republicans and a couple of Democrats who may well end up voting for him even more cover, because now they're going to say, oh, well, we got the FBI investigation. So I think it is a better opportunity here for the Republicans that they ended up doing the FBI report, because what happened is exactly what they said was going to happen, which is all of the information was already out there. All of these people had already filed affidavits under threat of perjury, and we already had the testimony of Ford and Kavanaugh under oath as well. So they weren't going to change their story, because if they changed their story, then they would be admitting to perjury, which would be a felony. I don't know why so many people are dumb and don't understand this. I think it's because a lot of people are dumb in America. I think it's because dumb people get taken advantage of by people who are smart enough to know that they're dumb. I try to always be a straight shooter with you guys. And so this is over. Your next Supreme Court justice is going to be Brett Kavanaugh. He is now minus 800 at the offshores to be nominated as the next Supreme Court justice. Minus 800 is a pretty massive favorite, and I think it's going to happen as soon as Saturday. I think that all of the Republicans are going to vote for him. I think that it would not surprise me if Joe Manchin, the senator from West Virginia, ends up voting for him too. And it wouldn't surprise me if Heidi Heidelkamp, or however you pronounce her last name, from North Dakota, ends up voting for him too. Because once they become certain that this guy is going to pass, that it's going to be at least 51 Republicans or at least 50 with the tiebreak, then a couple of Democrats are going to come on and try to protect themselves in the upcoming Senate race. So I think that the likelihood here is, okay, she said no this afternoon. I think that the likelihood is she just cost herself a Senate seat. Bad move by her. I think the best case scenario for Republicans, honestly, is that this thing, if I were actually running through it, the best thing that could have happened for Republicans is if Kavanaugh got voted down. And I know that people don't want to hear that because everybody's all tribal and they're all fighting off and everything else. I think that the best thing that could have happened is Kavanaugh gets voted down. There's not time to get anybody else up for the Supreme Court before the midterms. And then I think there would have been a tidal wave in the Senate, because the races where the Senate is up for grabs are actually that much more challenging. So I think you look at Missouri, you look at Tennessee, you look at North Dakota, you look at Indiana, you look at Florida, you look at Texas, you look at Montana. The worst thing that could happen is Kavanaugh gets voted down. I think that the Democrats are actually dodging a bullet here if the Republicans are able to get it done. So this story is effectively over. We can move on to the next Donald Trump era reality show. I think this is a big deal for the Republicans to have gotten done. I don't think it'll impact them very much in the Senate. We'll see whether or not it does. I think many people in the nation have come around on my side, which is believing that it makes no sense to like chase down people's 17-year-old high school actions. I think the idea that something that you did 36 years ago, which can't be corroborated by anyone, is a disqualifying allegation, would have set an awful precedent for everybody who is trying to rise to a higher level of office. And so I think that this is a net positive for America. I hope that this hearing was our McCarthy moment, where the Democrats recognize how far they overreached here. There are many reasons to disagree with Brett Kavanaugh. I disagree with him on abortion, probably. I disagree with him on the death penalty, probably. I disagree with him, I bet, on gay marriage, maybe. I'm pro-gay marriage, I am pro-choice, and I am against the death penalty, right? Those are three what I would call liberal positions, although I think they're easy for me to justify. I tend to be a little bit left-leaning on social issues and a little bit right-leaning on taxes and budget issues and everything else, leaving me right in the middle, okay? I found the coverage of the New York Times of the Brett Kavanaugh nomination to be indefensible. I can't imagine being a grown adult writing about the Supreme Court, chasing down an allegation that he threw a piece of ice at somebody in a bar during college in 1985. I don't understand how someone wrote that story with a straight face and didn't realize how ridiculous they looked. I can't imagine flipping through somebody's high school yearbook and quizzing them about the things that were written in the high school yearbook as evidence of whether or not they're qualified to be a Supreme Court justice after they had a sterling review as 12 years of a circuit court judge on the nation's second highest level of court. I can't imagine being a lawyer, as many of those people on the Judiciary Committee are. I think they may all have to be lawyers, and making that decision. They all went to law school. They all passed the bar like I did. God forbid I ever end up a grown man flipping through a high school yearbook from 35 years ago, grilling somebody about what was said there. I'm blown away with it. Blown away by it in all respects. And so I am in favor of Kavanaugh being confirmed. Whether I were a Democratic or a Republican senator, I would be voting for confirmation of Brett Kavanaugh. I think this is going to happen on Saturday. I think it will officially be done. And I don't know how you vote to support anybody who was on the Senate Judiciary Committee and in any way ratify their behavior. Okay, this bothers me. My book, first of all, I want to say thank you to you guys. Everybody who came out to our signing in Nashville, we had an awesome event. There may be people in this watching right now in Periscope or Facebook. I appreciate all of you that came out. We had a blockbuster first 5 or 6 days of the book being released. The book, if you have not seen it already or if you've not purchased it, it should be right now on the newest New York Times bestseller list. This should be the number 8 book in America. If you look at number of copies sold, this book came out on Tuesday of last week. And in the first week that it was out, it sold more books than all but 7 nonfiction books in America. The New York Times classifies their books list as a bestseller list. We dominated, dunked on, crushed at least half of the books on their bestseller list, and we were not ranked. I'm telling you right now, I think that has a lot to do with what the cover of my book looks like. I think if I had Colin Kaepernick dunking on Donald Trump, and I had put that on the cover of my book, and my book had the entire thing had been written about Colin Kaepernick being a hero, I think the New York Times would have put this book on their bestseller list. I think they discriminated against me based on the cover and based on the content of my book, just like that bookseller who canceled the event with me did. I sold a ton of copies. We sold a ton of copies. The publisher had to go back to print twice already. There is no amount of betterment I could have done. Now, here's what I could have done. I was approached before the book came out by a company that said, if you pay us $50,000, we will guarantee your book gets on the New York Times bestseller list. I said, well, how do you do that? They said, we have the formula that the New York Times uses. We will go buy books from all of the independent bookstores, the hoity-toity liberal bookstores that they use. We will go buy your book from them. We'll get online. We'll buy your book. And we will guarantee you that you will be on the New York Times bestseller list. I said, okay, that's interesting. So what's the catch? They said, you have to pay us $50,000 to do that. I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I understand lots of people do whatever they can to get on the list. I said, I want to be completely fair. I want to be completely transparent. I will sell the crap out of this book. I will hold it up on my Periscopes and Facebooks. I will send a ton of tweets out with a link to this book. I will do whatever I can to promote it because I stand behind my work. But I'm not going to pay you $50,000 to guarantee that I get on the New York Times bestseller list. I said I want to do it without basically book steroids. And so my numbers are real, they are authentic, and they are spectacular. Unlike the New York Times, I think that they should focus on the books that are actually selling instead of crappy books that nobody buys, that they want to advertise as being a really big best-selling book. So, yeah, even lists have no integrity anymore. The New York Times bestseller list has zero integrity, okay? Zero integrity beyond a shadow of doubt, and that is the simple truth, okay? The New York Times bestseller list has no integrity. It's not actually a bestseller list. It's a collection of books that the New York Times wants to give props to that frequently no one is actually reading, that they want to make it seem like there are a ton. If you're at all curious about these lists, if you're at all curious about this list, I tweeted out the exact numbers this week because I try to be as accurate as I can. I try to share facts with you as often as I can. I tweeted out the exact numbers of every New York Times list, every book that's sold. And I would encourage you guys to go check it out. I think that you will. I think that you'll just find it intriguing to see what's actually selling and to see what books are being left off. So I think you guys would legitimately enjoy it. And so I want to thank you guys for all that you have done to make my book a bestseller, a New York Times bestseller, a bestseller that triggered the New York Times so much that they protested and kept it off the best-selling list. This, my friends, is what triumph looks like. All right, I'm going to give you my gambling picks. I'm going to give you my gambling picks right now, and I'm going to make you guys rich. All right, are you ready for my picks? The book, by the way, is $16 right now on Amazon. $16. Dive in. You can buy it. I'm going to go through all of the gambling picks right now. I've only got 10 this week. Again, hate to brag, but we're at over 60% so far this year. Are you guys ready to be rich? Get out your pens, get out your pencils, make sure that you do not miss this, all right? Thanks again to everybody who came out to our Nashville event. I could not do it without you guys. You guys are fantastic, okay? Here are my Vegas guarantees, my locks, as we move through the gambling picks for Week 6, 2018. Okay, number 2 pencils only is well said. Syracuse, -6 at Pittsburgh. All right, are you ready? Syracuse, -6 at Pittsburgh. That line has dropped all the way to -3.5. Vegas and the offshores do not trust in any way Dino Babers. Those of us who gamble know that all Dino Babers does is cover, okay? All Dino Babers does is cover, all right? Mizzou. Some people out there recognize that it's a little bit confusing that 2 cities have the same name in the SEC. There's Columbia, South Carolina, and there's Columbia, Missouri. In my America, no 2 cities would have ever been allowed to have the same name. Every city would have had to have a brand new name so that we don't get confused as to which city we're talking about. I made the pick thinking this game was in Columbia, Missouri. Turns out this game is in Columbia, South Carolina. But it doesn't change the outcome. Mizzou is going to win no matter what. Mizzou +1 is the play. Auburn. This is the one that I loved. My blood bank guarantee. Tap the veins, boys. Tap the veins, boys and girls. Blood bank guarantee. Auburn opened -3, and the over-under was 45. Mississippi State has scored 7 and 6 points in the past 2 weeks. The over-under of this game being 45 is an outrage. The number has since dropped all the way to 42. I'm here to tell you right now, the play, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is the under in Auburn at Mississippi State. It's my blood bank guarantee, and also Auburn. Oklahoma, Texas, over 60. It is now up to like 61.5. I am telling you right now that it is the great play. I don't know what this guy said, but he said I wouldn't block him. He's wrong. Clay Kyle happened to look up, see that somebody was saying you won't block me, and now he's dead forever. Don't try me. And Alabama, minus 34.5 at Arkansas. It's now Alabama minus 35. The best case scenario for Arkansas right now is that they score 14 points in the game. The worst case scenario for Alabama is that they score 50. 50 minus 30 minus 14 is 36. That's what a big brain, great mathematical ability does for you. When you are a genius, you're aware that 36 is more than 35. Worst case scenario, Bama covers against Arkansas. LSU at Florida, the under 44.5 is what I initially gave out. It continues to come down. UConn at Memphis, I gave out 34. It's now 35. Here's what UConn's defense has given up. 62, 56, 49, 51, and 49. Things continue to get worse, no doubt there. And finally, Notre Dame minus 6.5 at Virginia Tech. That is the play. Nobody is going to be upset when they go 10-0 with those gambling picks. I blocked the parlay guy earlier who was upset. You're not counting your parlays. How are you not counting your parlays? I'm winning at 60%, motherfucker. I give out parlays to have a little bit more fun. I'm winning at what percentage again? What percentage was it? 60%, motherfuckers. Parlays are for fun, all right? I give out parlays, which are collections of the other gambling picks that I'm already giving you. A parlay plays out at a lot higher rate than a 50-50 bet. The parlay this week, for all of you who have functional penises and aren't sitting around saying, yeah, you're not counting your parlays. What about the parlay? The parlay, boys and girls, is a triple under in the SEC. Not one, not two, but a triple under in the SEC. Are you ready? Texas A&M hosting Kentucky, the under 51. Auburn on the road at Mississippi State, the under around 43 or 44. I'm not sure what it's at right now. And the final under, a triple under parlay party in the SEC, LSU at Florida, the under 45. That is how you get rich, boys and girls. That is my triple parlay. Tonight, once more, we have a Lock It In primetime special. And I want to make sure that everybody watches as soon as the Rockies and the Brewers ends on FS1. We will be live making your world a better place. We will be live and be happy to make your world a better place. The play tonight, Thursday night, NFL, Pats, Colts, Colts at the Pats. The play is the Indianapolis Colts plus 10.5 or 11, depending on where you're looking. Go to sportsbookreview.com and get the best possible number out there. The play is easy. The Colts are going to cover. The Colts are not far away from being a 4-0 team. Everybody out there and their mom is going to be on the Patriots, and everybody's saying, oh, Brady and Belichick, they're the greatest thing ever. The Colts are going to cover. Telling you right now, don't be on the side of the masses. Use your brains. Be on the side of the geniuses like me. The Colts are going to cover tonight. All right? Write it down. The Colts could easily be 4-0. Andrew Luck is playing at a very high level. That Patriot defense is slow, and they aren't very good when they're going up against a quarterback that's well prepared. I think Andrew Luck is going to be ready for the Colts. This is his holy cow, I'm still Andrew Luck game. Whole nation's going to be watching. Andrew Luck and the Colts cover plus 10.5 on the road. All right, I love all of you. Somebody said, who's he going to throw to? Great quarterbacks can throw to anyone. The quarterback makes the wide receiver. The wide receiver does not make the quarterback. Everybody who runs around worried about wide receivers is typically acknowledging that their quarterback is not very good. This quarterback is very good. I'm telling you, make a play, make the smart financial decision, jump all over the Colts plus 10.5, and play all the other gambling picks I just gave you. All 10 of them are up. If you didn't have a pen and paper, they're all up on Outkick. You can search them out. Did I mention that we're 60%? If you want an autographed copy of this book, which should be the number 8 book on the New York Times bestseller list, if the New York Times are being honest and accurate, go buy this book. If you want an autographed copy, you sign up for Outkick VIP, and I send you an autographed copy. There are thousands of copies of this book that are currently in the mail going out to our VIP members, who are, by the way, all getting rich off the gambling picks. Hashtag respect the picks. I love all of you. Thank you for spending your Thursday afternoon with me. Primetime lock it in tonight. Me, Cousin Sal, Rachel Bonetta, and Todd Furman, all of us hang and have a good time. I'll see you guys. My name is Clay Travis. This has been Outkick the Show. Kisses to everybody. DBAP, but SBAP sometimes is necessary. I'll see you guys. Love you. Bye. Thank you, Facebook. Bye.